This relates to more news. You have reports talking about ceasefire broken between Israel and Iran. So the tensions are back again. Surprise attacks on both sides. Trump's not happy. His videos talking about him using explicitive relating to be frustrated with both sides, particularly I think more with Israel and probably Iran. You know, pretty much he says they don't know how to explicitive know what they are doing, in a matter of speaking. You know what I mean? So he's frustrated with both sides. And that part of the world, there's not going to be peace because Israel and Iran, they hate each other. One side wants extinction, and annihilation to another side. So it'll never be peace between both of them, man. They can't stand each other, man. They hate each other. Scripture says, Ezekiel 25, talking about destruction coming. They shall seek peace, and there shall be none. So they're going to seek peace, but destruction is going to come instead of that peace. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So that sudden is the destruction that's going to come, man. It's going to come unexpectedly and sudden. And there shall be none. It's just not going to be no peace. For example, the Middle East, it will never be peace in that region, man. One side wants annihilation and extermination of the other side, and vice versa. So it'll never be peace on that side. And it's part of prophecy that it wouldn't be peace on a deeper aspect. Let's go to the news. Trump is not happy with Israel and Iran, says both have violated ceasefire. And shortly after, they were firing on each other, man. Surprisingly firing on each other. And that was, the ceasefire was, like I was saying, very temporary. Very temporary. You had 10,000 Israeli drones were seized by Iranian authorities, man. Right, the spy drones, man. And they're going to thwart any other or stop any other further incidents relating to regarding them. That's a TOI report. It's right here. This is another report. I'll show that. Your BS will burn. Iran threatens Trump of a new attack on U.S. base amid war of words. They attacked Al Aid base, which is in Doha, which is in Doha, Qatar, or Qatar, Qatar, Doha, or near there. So bases are going to be, you know what I mean, they're going to be a key target, man. The State Department briefing on Israel-Iran ceasefire appears to hold under Trump's pressure. Ceasefire announced between Israel after missile strikes. Now here's something right here. This goes to ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. Donald Trump, President of the United States. So, according to this report, this is Click to Houston relating to ceasefire announced again. Trump slams Israel, Iran for violating the ceasefire with explicit words. Trump lashes out on Israel and Iran over ceasefire. Congressional lawmakers are still pushing for a war powers resolution. You have one in 1973 war powers solution, despite the apparent ceasefire. Trump says both Israel and Iran violate the ceasefire. And these two countries do not know what pretty much the blank they're doing, man. That's what he said explicitly. Now going back to Now, according to Fars news agency, in Tehran discovered about 10,000 spy drones allegedly by Israel. Major discovery comes amid escalation tensions between both countries. Reports suggest that these drones were potentially used to target Iranian nuclear scientists and academics who were recently deleted in Israel strikes. Security officials are investigating the emerging threat and have assured that the public that Iranian intelligence will effectively thwart any further threats or actions. That's TOI report. That's Times of India. Now let's see something real quick relating to the ceasefire, because they talk about another ceasefire as let me just check this real quick. Yeah. A shaky ceasefire takes hold. That's what it is, shaky. You know, you can't trust it, and you can't, because like I said, these two countries hate each other, man. There will never be peace over there, man. Let me get Psalms 120 and Psalms let me get Psalms 120 and 6 and 7. I'll get it from regular KJV. My soul have long dwelt with him that hated peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. And they are for war. They're not for peace, man. Go to Psalms 55 real quick, 2021. So they're not going to be for peace, because they hate peace, man. Scripture talks about a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace, a time for war. Ecclesiastes 3 and 8, man. It's time for war. They want war, man. At least one side does, you know what I mean? Now go to Psalms 55. 55. And 20 and 21. There was a video I watched when a Man of Truth, it was a young Jake. They were talking about the draft, which is the conscription, a fancy word for draft. Talking about he's not, pretty much the younger generations, 18 to 25, they ain't going to go. If they get drafted, they're going to do everything to avoid getting drafted. They're not going to go. They'll rather go to jail than get drafted. You know what I mean? Because this generation do not want to fight, man. That's not their thing. And they don't want to fight for relating to certain things, man. This country, man, because they know relating to different, they feel a certain way relating to regarding matters of the policies and just a matter of different things according to this you know, especially under this regime, man. These generations are not going to fight, the younger generations, you know what I mean? And so there was a Jake. He was a certain way. He said he'd rather go to jail, you know, before he gets drafted. And the other two as well, younger generations, 18 to 25 group. So they're not going to go, because they're not going to fight for this country, man. And they're not going to fight for a war that they don't agree with. You know what I mean? That's none of their business. You know what I mean? They're just not. So that's what that video is going into. Now, that being said, you're still going to have relating to a draft, because scripture is relating to Ezekiel 3, Isaiah 3, 25 and up. And you have second Esdras around 16, 32, 33. You know what I mean? I can get them. Let me see if I can get them real quick. You know what I mean? So this generation is not going to fight. You know, say he sees that young Jake said it in a video. He said, "I'm not built for it, for war." There's no disrespect to ones who, you know, military otherwise, but I'm not going to. He says, "I'm not going to fight in that." You know what I mean? And a lot of these generations are not going to fight in it. You know what I mean? Because they know it's a bunch of BS, man. When it comes down to it, man. You know what I mean? They're not. Now, let me get that scripture 55 in Psalms. That was off Man in the Shoes video last night, where he's showing them 3 Jakes talking about relating to that military. You know, if a draft comes to pass, they're not going to, a lot of them, they're going to be draft dodgers, man. You know what I mean? Because they don't agree with war, a war that's not really justified, and pretty much is a farce, man. And he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. So he put his hands on ones who are be at peace with him, try to be friend with him. And he had broken the covenant, whether contractually, verbally, or otherwise. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So war was in his heart. His mind and his soul was war in his heart, man. So when you speak of peace, they speak of war, just like in 127 of Psalms, man. The words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they draw on swords, man. So that's they have a different agenda, man. You know what I mean? For you come in peace, they're coming in war, man. Their thoughts and their mindset is of war, man. Just like with Israel and Iran, man. Specifically Israel. They have a mission. Their mission is not of peace, man. Especially when it comes to the opposition, man. That's just what it is, man. That's why it will never be peace over there. You know what I mean? In that region. And from a prophecy's sake, it can't be peace over there. It has to be war. Let's go to let me get them scriptures. Isaiah 3. Isaiah 3:25. The men shall fall by the sword, and the mighty in war. The mighty in war is soldiers. Scripture talks about preparing the weakling. Even the weaklings will have to fight. And some of them weaklings is 3 of them guys that were on that video, man, that I watched yesterday. They're going to have to fight. Even the weaklings are going to have to fight. The men shall fall by the sword, and the mighty, and thy mighty in war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and shall be desolate, and she shall sit upon the ground. Let me get on 2nd Ezra 16. So war is going to happen, man. It's going to be war. It's going to be a draft. You know what I mean? That's going to happen, man. 2nd Ezra 16. And a lot of these young generations that don't want to go, they're going to go, man. They're going to go. Especially ages between 18 and 25, man. The virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. That's their significant other. And the women shall mourn having no husbands, and the daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Their helpers would be their significant other, husband, boyfriend, so forth. In war shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So either war or famine or the sword. And part of that sword is what? War, man. All right. So this is a quick video, real quick. Quick news. Hope this helps relating to information. This is Isaiah Wolf. I hope it helps relating to information, informative relating to information. All praise Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shem, Makagad Isaiah Wolf.